If you guys have any problems or questions that you're having in your actual life, then email me at cangrobusiness@gmail.com and I'll make a video trying to give the best advice I possibly can. Alright, what's up, gang? If you were alive in 2020, which I hope to fuck that you are, okay? I hope there's no 2-year-olds watching this video. But if you were alive in 2020, then you no doubt remember Fall Guys. This, for about 20 minutes, was the biggest game ever created. Your favorite Twitch streamer was playing it. Your favorite Twitch streamer's Twitch streamer was playing it. I bet your favorite fucking Twitch streamers. But a few hours ago, I read this tweet saying that Epic Games has reportedly laid off a ton of staff for, company-wide, and Epic Games is the one that owns Fall Guys, and apparently a lot of these layoffs had a lot to do with the Fall Guys staff. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about how Fall Guys went from being probably the biggest game on launch to now, fucking barely even being worked on. Now, Fall Guys came out in August of 2020, and this game was very well received for a few reasons. One, people were fucking deprived of anything. They would watch anything. Fucking, this is whenever Disney made those shows that people were literally watching and consuming any type of content they possibly could. They were so bored. And two, Fall Guys was very party-based, meaning, you wanted your friends to play it with you. So it had this almost like built-in advertising system that not a lot of games are able to have that don't have this kind of style. So because of this, Fall Guys absolutely blew up basically off launch. Everybody was playing it. I already made that joke about Twitch streamers, but seriously, this game was on the top of Twitch. It was on the top of YouTube. It was the game. I mean, I remember back whenever Fall Guys came out, I started to think that this was going to be the game. This was going to be the game that everybody was going to play. It was going to be like the next Fortnite or something. I don't know. But then only just a few weeks after Fall Guys released, Among Us started to absolutely blow up. Now, the thing about Among Us is it had already been out for 2 years, and I honestly don't know the Among Us extended lore, okay? I don't know why it decided to blow up at this exact time, just a few weeks after Fall Guys blew up. The thing is, Among Us did everything that Fall Guys did, but better. So gradually, people who just wanted that experience to be able to play with their friends and have something to play just switched on over to Among Us. And this was the first real hit for Fall Guys. It didn't completely kill all the steam they'd already have built up, but it definitely wasn't good for them for there to be this, new, big, even better game to come out just a few weeks after their game had come out. But Fall Guys was still kind of trucking along at this point, okay? It still had a good audience. It still had a lot of people who were willing to put their time into this game, until about a few months after the game came out, and they were like, hey, what the hey guy, where's the updates? And then the Fall Guys developers were like, so yeah, Fall Guys was never really supposed to blow up on launch, and I think the game developers never really realized or expected for the game to blow up that quickly and that much. I mean, this game was the game, so they weren't really prepared for any of it, meaning that there wasn't a lot of content that would come out for the, first few months of the game's release, which is very bad. Normally, whenever you're making a game, you want to have a slow, beginning of it, so that way you can work out all those bumps and all those kinks, so that way you can turn the game into something really good, and then that's where you want it to start to blow up. But Fall Guys wasn't able to have that, which is, again, another thing that Among Us had on Fall Guys. So people immediately started to get bored because their attention span is that of a fucking grape. But Fall Guys was still able to truck on, okay? It started to get some updates, it started to get some seasons or whatever. It wasn't doing bad. Really quickly, people started to get bored of it, and it instantly, overnight, became the game to a game. Now, one thing about Fall Guys is that it was only available on PC and PlayStation, and that's where one guy saw a gap in the market and decided to make a clone called Stumble Guys and put that on mobile. Now, the difference between mobile and PC gaming is mobile gaming has an insanely big audience. There's so many more people with a phone than there is a computer that is capable to play games, and people that have a computer that's capable to play games that like to play games. Not to mention the fact that Fall Guys was $30, and this new clone called Stumble Guys that was on mobile was completely free. So if anybody who didn't have a computer but wanted to play Fall Guys wanted to play it, then they would just play Stumble Guys on their phone, and it was pretty good. And this may not have been that big of an impact instantly, but over time, Stumble Guys ended up surpassing Fall Guys in players. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Now, Epic Games, the world's 17th greatest game company who made hit games such as Fortnite, acquired Fall Guys just a few months after the game came out and instantly just Fortnite-ified it. They added battle passes, they added skill-based matchmaking, basically all the shit that people don't like in Fortnite. that made the game less casual and more serious, they just fucking hucked that over to Fall Guys, knocked off that price tag, made it free to play, and put all these bullshit microtransactions into this. Welcome to modern gaming, motherfuckers. Strap in. And at this point, people were starting to get a little bit frustrated because, again, Fall Guys was so hyped. I cannot understate this. Everybody had so much expectation for this game, and it felt like at every single step, this game could not deliver, and people were not happy. And Fall Guys, ever since about 2021 to now of October of 2023, has just slowly had this downfall where it's got less and less players and less updates, you know, less content, everything. Meanwhile, its literal clone, Stumble Guys, has had the exact opposite effect and is now literally multiplying their player base like ×3 or something fucking crazy like that. And that brings us to today, where I saw this tweet that was talking about how a big part of the staff of Fall Guys got actually laid off. Recently, Epic Games had a giant layoff of employees. They laid off about 130 employees, and a decent chunk of these were the Fall Guys employees. Not like an absolutely insane, like, game shutting down amount, but enough to where it's like, okay, you know, this is kind of a big deal. I honestly feel really bad for these game developers, because imagine putting like all of your time and money and effort into, you know, trying to work on this game at this job that you probably don't even like that much, and it's a failing game that nobody even plays anymore, but you're still putting in all this effort, and then they just decide to cut you because you're not making the company enough money. And this brings me to where I have to ask the question where it's, what's next for Fall Guys? Honestly, I don't really care if Fall Guys makes some sort of a comeback, to be honest with you. I didn't play the shit out of it whenever it originally came out. I played a little bit of it whenever it went free to play, maybe like fucking like 5 hours. I played it for like a week. But honestly, I think that this story is just so crazy because it goes to show you how this game went from being the biggest game to now basically nothing. Nobody's really playing it, and there's like indie games that have 10 times more players than Fall Guys. But I mean, it makes sense. Like, why would you spend your time playing Fall Guys on a game console or a computer whenever there's so many other games that you could be playing, or so many other better and like more worked on games that have better content or better community or all this kind of stuff, just better development? Why would you waste your time playing Fall Guys whenever you could go play something else? That's got to be the mentality of a lot of people who stopped playing Fall Guys, and that's probably a really good reason as to why the game completely fell off. And because of all these reasons, I honestly have to say that I think that Fall Guys has had the biggest downfall in all of gaming history. Now, if you did like this video, then you should go check out the video that I uploaded a few weeks ago talking about how Fortnite had a similar downfall, but for a lot of different reasons. But whether you go watch that video or not, I appreciate you for watching this video all the way through, so thank you.